What's up, guys? So I want to talk to you about CBD oil. Does it really work for anxiety and depression? Have you tried this out, guys? Leave me in the comment section down below. Have you used it for anxiety, depression, any other health issue that you've had? Because there are further benefits from just anxiety and depression that CBD oil contains. Go ahead and smash that like button down below if you're ready to kick anxiety in the butt. So what is CBD oil? It's a cannabinoid that's found in marijuana and hemp plants. Now, when I first heard about CBD oil, whenever I was first doing videos about anxiety recovery and stuff, I was hesitant on it. I thought it was literally liquid marijuana. I think a lot of people think that at first until they dig deep enough and actually see the common research on it. You will not get an intoxication from this. You will not get a high from this. There's no THC in this, so you can pass a drug test. That was another concern of mine. I was like, I didn't want to just make some review video, which this isn't really a review over this specific product. I guess you could say that's not a sponsored post or anything, just my experience on it. But I was worried, like, if I did that, would I randomly get drug tested at work and then get fired from my job over some silliness? But that's not the case. You don't have to worry about that. So how does this actually work? A lot of this is still highly questionable, but there's a lot of evidence from people and personal testimonies that it does help them with their anxiety. The idea is that it works with CB1 brain receptors. This is some of the proteins that attach to your brain cells, and it's supposed to alter your serotonin signals. Now, a lot of people use serotonin replacement because if you have low serotonin, you're more likely to have anxiety and depression, but that includes taking SSRIs, which is like Zoloft and Prozac. Now, we all know the deal with those. You can have withdrawal symptoms, you can have side effects. This is all natural, and I tell everybody on my channel, in my audience, on every video, please try natural ways before you just take a medication. I know a lot of doctors are going to hand you that really quickly. My doctor, the very first time I mentioned anything about anxiety, he wrote me a prescription for sertraline. Like, are you kidding me? Just because I mention anxiety? Most doctors aren't experienced in mental health. A lot of them don't talk about nutrition, so that's kind of what they do. So guys, make sure that you take every advantage of trying some natural things. I do a lot of videos over these. Now, there's another thing called 5-HTP, which I did a video a while back, that's known to help with the production of serotonin, so that's something else to look into. But this is supposed to help with serotonin levels. That's the idea behind it. There's a lot of studies, particularly on animals, where it's shown to decrease anxiety symptoms, including fast heart rate. I know a lot of you deal with that. So I was skeptical about it. My experience is I was on vacation with my wife, and we went by a CBD oil shop, and I was like, hey, I've been meaning to get some CBD oil. I wanted to test it out and do a video for you guys. So I went and I got this. This is Alamo Botanicals, sorry, where you can see it. And most CBD oil is gonna come into a little bottle with a little dropper like this, so you can take the dose. Sorry for the gross, weird Band-Aid that's like dried out and watered down. Whatever, I'm getting weird on that. So this is 500 milligrams. 500 milligrams. Now, the common dosages are 250, 500, and 1,000. I recommend you just go ahead straight up and get the 1,000 milligrams. It's not going to do you no harm. I just found that it was more effective, and I eventually had to start taking 2 doses of this to get like a decent response from my body, okay? So I found out a couple things. If I took this with food, it took longer to take an effect, and the effects were a lot smaller in nature. The effects for me, mainly, I did have this sense of calmness, like I wasn't on edge. Now, there are some differences between me and a lot of you out there. I don't have anxiety disorders anymore. I don't have panic attacks. My adrenaline isn't always kicking, so I may not notice some of these effects from my anxiety and depression like some of you are gonna, come to realize. And I took that, into consideration. I did feel a sense of calmness, and a few times I would actually get a little sleepy. So yeah, that's something that you could be dealing with there. It wasn't major, nothing like that. It just made me feel relaxed. And that was a good thing. I was like, wow, this stuff can actually work. It didn't work for me every single day. Like I said in the beginning, when I was taking 500 milligrams, I didn't see much of anything, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, I was taking it with food every day when I did that. Then I switched to 1,000 milligrams, and I noticed some changes. But I was still taking it with food. Then I did it without food, and I was like, oh, okay. So I would suggest upon awakening, take this before you get your breakfast or anything like that. Wait off or hold off a little bit. do a little 2 hour of fasting while you do your meditation and journaling and all that stuff, and then eat your breakfast later, because it'll probably take you less time. 30 to 45 minutes is what it took for me to actually fill this. So my grade on this, guys, overall, I would say it's a B. It's only a B for me because I don't have anxiety disorder, so I couldn't see the full effect on that, but I could tell enough that it was having some effect on me. So guys, you need to be taking advantage of things like this. And this isn't a sponsored video, but I will put some other more popular and traditional CBD oils that have a lot of reviews and a lot of information on them. I'll put a few of those in the description so you can check those out. It's not the cheapest thing in the world. I believe this bottle, which is 500 milligrams, was 60 bucks. So obviously the higher the milligram or the dosage, the more money it's gonna cost. So if money is an issue, maybe start out with 500 or start out with the 250 milligram option. So just think about that. It's kind of pricey, but I will say, this is not a cure for anxiety. Don't think that the cure for anxiety is CBD oil or 5-HTP, okay, or magnesium or vitamin B12. Those aren't cures. Those are to help out. You have to be figuring out what your root cause is. Like I tell you in every video, find out what your root cause of anxiety and start handling it that way through meditation and journaling and CBT training. Therapy, guys, in that description below, there is BetterHelp therapy. I mention at the end of every one of my videos because it's too good to be true. You get to pick from thousands of therapists. I know a lot of you live in areas where there's only 2 or 3 therapists anywhere around you, and you have to drive even further to get better options. You can literally go through and shop for your therapist to find the one that's perfect for you and your anxiety disorder. It's also more affordable. Therapists charge an arm and a leg on the street. This stuff on the BetterHelp.com is a lot cheaper. The rates are amazing. Also, there's free trials. You get to sign up for free. And the best thing about this is convenient. You can do it at home. You don't have to go nowhere. If you have agoraphobia, no excuse. You can do it right on your couch. So that's there, guys. I have a meditation journal that's going to help you out with your meditating and your journaling. It's going to put it together, show you how to do it. That's down below in the description. So be sure to check that out. If you need some support, which I know many of you do, join the Facebook group that I created specifically for people with anxiety disorders. Make sure you're taking advantage of that. There's close to 2,000 members of like-minded people. We're there to support each other. We'll discuss symptoms and how they actually occur and what's causing them and ways to relieve your anxiety. So be a part of that. There's an anxiety store as well. I'll probably end up putting some CBD oils in there, but there's a lot of books and workbooks on anxiety disorders. My Snapchat, my Twitter, my Instagram, it's all there. Guys, subscribe if you haven't. If you have subscribed, which a lot of you are subscribed, hit that notification bell so you get updates when I put my videos out. Remember to like this video if you got some value. And again, leave me a comment. Let me know. Have you tried CBD oil and what was your experience, guys? I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, I'll give you a little close-up on kind of what it looks like here. I give it a B for me. Thanks a lot, guys.